Hello everyone, welcome back. So Tailwind has just released a new framework, I would say, called Compass, which works with NextJS and of course Tailwind CSS to create an online course. It's not a framework. Basically, it is like a starter kit. So let's go through the blog post. So it is from Adam Wathan, who is the creator of Tailwind. Like, I've been itching to get back into screencasting and teaching lately. So a couple of months back I put together this free build UIs that don't suck mini course. People seem to like it. Now I want to do some bigger video projects, but there was a problem. I'm a software developer, and a software developer, much like I need to write my own static site generator before I can build my own personal website. I needed to build my own course platform before I could even think about putting together a video course. Well, fast forward 6 weeks later, and we just released Compass, a starter kit we designed with Tailwind CSS and Next.js for pushing your own online course. So you can check out the live preview as well for the full experience. So I think they have deployed it over here. So yeah, if you want, you can go through it as well. Seems kind of like Moodle to me, like Moodle LMS. We had a lot of fun working on this and got to play with a bunch of new tools and technology and solve some interesting problem. Picture in picture video, you might not have seen it before, but most modern browsers have native picture in picture support. These APIs let you take a video and pop it out into a separate window that the user can move around and resize while still browsing the site. We had this idea for Compose where if you started to play a course video and scroll down to the bottom page, the video would move to the bottom right of the screen, so you can still watch it while reading the page content. We were hoping to use picture in picture APIs for this, but it turns out you can't passively trigger them on scroll for privacy security reasons. I guess the user has to actually click something similar to the clipboard APIs. We ended up rolling our own simple thing instead, using interaction observer, video events, and a bit of state to detect when the video was playing and off screen, and added data attributes to the video element so we could target them with utility classes. I love using data attributes for this sort of thing. Find the code reads a lot more like standard Tailwind stuff compared to a bunch of ternaries and conditional logic in JavaScript, passing VTT files into transcript. There's a section in Compass for interviews which include a video at the top of the page, but also a pretty custom transcript UI below. At the first, we weren't totally sure how we should approach this. Our first idea was to just write some React component for this pieces and throw the content directly into an MDX file, but it felt sort of unrealistic to expect anyone to ever author their transcript in this totally custom format. Then I had the idea to use a standard caption file format like SRT. The problem was that for our needs, we needed to encode the current speaker, Tom or Annie, in the screenshot above, and SRT has no standardized way of encoding that information in the file. I did some research and eventually landed on WebVTT, which is similar to SRT but does support speaker information and is conveniently designed for the web. So we wired things up to parse the transcript data from a .vtt file and then map over that data to render it as a custom UI with React. Turn out pretty cool. I can imagine someone generating a transcript in VTT format using AI, throwing it into the project, and it will automatically be rendered in a nice custom UI. Extending markdown images for a dark mode and layout shift. The example content we came up with for Compass includes a lot of diagrams that we wanted to adapt between light and dark mode. You can do this sort of thing a ton of different ways. The picture tag supports it natively, for example, but we really wanted to keep the content files feeling as much like vanilla markdown as possible, so we came up with this idea of a scheme placeholder in the image URL that we replace with light or dark, dynamically loading the correct image based on the user's color scheme. Now the underlying image component will automatically render neuro-proof.light.png or neuro-proof.dark.png depending on the current color scheme. And if you just want to use the same image in both, just don't include scheme in the URL at all. We also wanted to avoid layout shift in the content, which you can do pretty easily these days by ensuring you give your images width and height attributes so the browser can compute the aspect ratio and reserve space for the image when it loads. There is no standard way to express this in markdown image syntax, but after a bit of research we discovered some precedent in Obsidian. Obsidian tracks the image dimension on to the alt text like this. So we used a custom MDX component to pull out the dimension using the same format and add those to the image to make sure there is no layout shift as the content load. So there you go, that's Compass. As always, it's a free update for anyone with a Tailwind Plus license, so go and download the code base, poke around and have fun with it. If you don't already have a Tailwind Plus license, think about getting one. Picking one up is the best way to support our work on Tailwind CSS, and there's ton of useful stuff in there. Looking forward to using this template for some upcoming project myself in the next couple of months. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.